Hi, boys and girls. Let's have some fun and draw together today. Your parents are welcome. Anyone in your household is welcome to join you. Today's project is recommended for 4th graders. Today we will be drawing a swan. All you will need is a piece of paper, a pencil, an eraser. Afterwards, if you'd like to color yours in with anything that you have at home, crayons, colored pencils, markers, colored pencils, paint, anything you have is fine. Just about to have some fun. Let's start with our shapes. I'm going to use a marker so you can see better. Remember to hold onto your paper with one hand, draw with the other hand. The first shape is a circle. Anywhere on your paper, you can use a scrap piece of paper also. Next shape is a dot. It's a circle, but we color it all the way in, so we call it a dot. The next, do you remember the name of this line? Very good, boys and girls. Horizontal. Can we all say that together? Horizontal line. Next line, do you remember that one? Vertical. Very good. Vertical line. Very good. We have one more line. Remember the name of that one? Diagonal. Very good, boys and girls. Let's say it together. Diagonal line. Okay. Then we have our half circles. A U. An upside down U. Looks like a rainbow. A C and a backwards C. All of these are half circles. So if we put them together, it would make a full circle. Then we have our angled lines, which are our V's. A regular V, an upside down V, which looks like an A without the crossbar, a sideways V, and another sideways V. Very good. Then we have a slightly curved line. Remember, it is not as curved as our upside down U or rainbow. It's not as straight as our straight line. That's why we call it a slightly curved line. Then we have our lazy S. Our lazy S laying down or horizontally, we call a hill and a valley. And then we've been doing spirals lately, which is just fun. So remember, you start in the middle. Looks like you're going to do a circle, but you go past that point and just keep going around. And remember, they make wonderful snails. That's why they're fun. All right, so those are our shapes. Remember, we're going to do them before every project because it just makes it easier for us to draw. All right, boys and girls, let's begin our drawing today. I have my picture, or my paper, excuse me, the horizontal way. Okay, so I'm going to make a big swan today. You've seen I also have another one up here that I drew. So I'm going to go ahead. Remember, our swan is pointing this way, so my eye is going to be closest to my left side of the paper. I'm going to go ahead and start with a circle. Pretty good size circle because I'm making a pretty big swan. It's up to you if you like to make one big swan or many little ones, or one big one, lots of little ones. Remember, you have to think about the composition. It's up to you what you want your picture to look like in the end. All right, boys and girls. I did one circle to start. I'm going to go ahead and do another circle in the middle. I'm going to almost make it a dot, but I am going to leave a little white showing. You decide how you want to do the eye. No right or wrong way. Now, about the middle of my eye, I'm going to go out just a little bit to about here, boys and girls. And I'm going to make a backwards 3, or a half circle and another half circle. Okay? But it looks like a backwards 3 to me. Now, the next part is we're going to touch the middle of it, and that's going to be the length of the beak. So that's for you to decide how long the beak is going to be. I'm going to mostly do a straight line, and when I've decided it's long enough, then I'm going to do a little curve at the end, boys and girls. All right, very good. Now, before I start the top beak, I have to put in another shape here. Do you see this? I'm going to start right here, and it's another slightly curve going out that direction. Now I know where the top of my beak is. And it almost looks like a lazy S, but very lazy. So you decide if it's just going to be a line and then curve down to there. I'm going to do a little lazy S there and then come up. So remember, this is kind of my valley and then a little bit of a hill. Not much. You decide what looks best on your paper, boys and girls. There's no right or wrong. Now we have this little comma that's still open. That's the bottom of his or her beak. I'm going to touch that and bring a line straight over, and then I'm going to come curve up. Notice that it doesn't come to the end. Here it kind of does, but it shouldn't. It should end a little before it. That could be too much before. Maybe you like it that way a little bit better. However you like the beak. All right, now we have the top of his head. We're going to touch the top of the beak here that we made, and really it's just a line coming up, and then you're going to slightly curve around his head and stop right about there. Notice the neck. It's a very graceful neck, so this kind of starts to come in, and the front is definitely a lazy S. So we can go to the front right now. I'm going to bring, remember this little, we started with our backwards 3. This little, the bottom of the backwards 3, which is my half circle, I'm going to make that just a little longer, boys and girls. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make this lazy S first. It starts right about here, curves in very slightly. And then slightly out. And stop right about there. Okay, let's go back here. We want to give him her or him a nice slender neck. So I would curve in very, very slightly. Makes it look a little more slender rather than a straight line down. But you decide. All right, so now we're going to do this nice, the back right here, not the top here, the back. So it starts right here, right? Slightly curving this way. Our lazy S again, and then curve up. So it's our valley and hill, okay? You decide how long this needs to be before you start her feathers. I think I'm okay right there. So as you see, the feathers are really just sideways V's, but with a little curve to it. So I'm going to bring one in with a slightly curved line that way. I'm going to go a slightly curved line out. I'm going to come back with a slightly curved line. And now it's up to you. On this one, I just touched and did my slightly curved lines down. Here I did it a little differently, gave it a little bit more flair. You decide how you like it. Okay, here I'm just going to do my slightly curved lines down to about there. Now we have, this is the back of the fin. Not a fin. Back of our swan's feathers, okay, or body. So I'm going to start right here with a slightly curved line all the way over to here. And then it's going to do a lazy S that's behind this, and wherever it pops out, I'm going to do some sideways V's with a little curve, just like I did here. So here's one, do another one, and then here I'm going to finish it off with my lazy S coming down to a half circle and meeting there. Okay, so now we just need to put the bottom of our swan in. You don't really see the whole bottom because it's in the water. So right here, we're going to make a sideways half circle, backward C. Okay, so we know where to start. And then again, we're just going to close this in with our hill and our valley, right? So first I'm going to go up to my hill, down, and meet my swan. Okay, now if you want to show that he's actually in water, if you give him a couple of curves here, looks like the water is moving. Do a couple back here also. Now, we certainly have room to continue our swan in a lake or some body of water. Mine's definitely a lake. On one side, I did have room, I still have room over here, to do a little piece of land on some calla lilies or long grass. But remember, you're going to do this first before you put in the piece of land, okay? So here I go. I'm going to go up with a slightly curved line, come down with another slightly curved line. I'm going to do this one that bends. That's always a fun one. So it kind of hooks over a little bit, right? Closes right there. And that's where this comes down and another slightly curved line. This is the bent part. If you want it in a point, start there and go back. And then just close it off right there. So now it looks like the leaf is actually bent. Okay, we're going to do some straight leaves here, which are just either slightly curved lines. You decide if they're going to be just V's, how many you want to make. Okay. Once you've finished with that, then you can go ahead and put in your little island that is right here. Okay, and then here's my water still. Now I've got the top of my water up here also, right? But before I put that in, I think I'll put some lily pads and some lily flowers, okay? So let's do a couple of lily pads. They're nice and fun. They kind of have a heart shape, but a messy heart, okay? So you can kind of start with a V. I'm doing a sideways V that's kind of messy. I'm going to go to the top, do a curve. Here I'm going to kind of end like a heart, and it has a little middle, right? It has the veins. Okay, I'm going to do another one. So there's usually more than one around. Okay, and I did leave a little room. I'm going to have some flowers popping up right there. So I'm going to do my stems first. Did two slightly curved lines for my first stem. The lilies are really just slightly curved lines, the petals, right? So you'll start one there and do another one on the other side and just keep building up your flower. All right? Now you can do another one if you want. Let's do one more. So there are my two stems. Slightly curved lines for my petals. Oops, I'm losing my canvas. Okay. All right. So once I have everything in the pond, now I can go ahead and make the edge of it. But I'm going to say excuse me when I run into anything. All right? So boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed today making our swan with some lily pads and some flowers. I hope that you go on and continue your sketch a little bit more maybe and fill it in with some color and have a great time. I miss all you guys, so just keep drawing with me and have fun.